Hey, I am Dragonfly Jones, aka America is Musty.
I am the Jethro Jenkins, aka John.
I'm Gardy B, and this is the Jenkins Jonez YouTube channel. We've got fresh YouTube exclusives dropping every week. Like and subscribe so you make sure you get everything in your feed. Welcome to Jenkins Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Thursday, April 25th, and even though it's Thursday, it's still Silly Billy Saturday. This is your non-basketball playoffs episode of Jenkins Jonez. We do have a little bit of sports to talk about with Reggie Bush, but we're going to talk about calling the police on the cicadas. We're going to talk about the largest ancient snake in history being discovered and why our brain does not fit in the world that our brain has built. As always, Jenkins Jonez, hosted by Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Jethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, Bubba's?
I'm Gardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we're produced, as always, by the lovely and talented Jackson Seth.
What's up?
All right, we got to talk about this Reggie Bush shit. They just announced on the day we're recording this, Reggie Bush is getting his Heisman back, spurring mostly people celebrating. Also, obviously, some of the stupidest possible discourse on, well, it was still illegal at the time he was doing it. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God.
You know,
stomach hurt.
But we are all of the Reggie Bush generation. We were the exact right age to watch what he was doing and kind of marvel at it. What was your guys' reaction to the Heisman people finally giving him his trophy back?
I mean, I thought it was bullshit that they took it from him to begin with,
Period.
right? Reggie Bush, like, there's like 3 or 4 different ways I can go if you ask me who's the best college football quarterback I've ever seen. Like, there's Burrow, there's Cam, Tim Tebow has a case. But if you ask me who was like the best flat out college football player I ever saw, Reggie Bush probably gets my vote. That dude was just indescribable, bro. He was electric. He was a fucking football player. Did it all. Could run it. Could catch it in open space. You know, if you get him in the open field, he's shaking the shit out of defenders and getting yards. And he was just an incredible talent. And for him to have his Heisman taken for some shit that had nothing to do with his on-field play, just because this motherfucker was getting some money like he should have been, you know what I'm saying? He was severely underpaid because you could make the point he was perhaps the most talented player in USC's history, you know, and he was severely underpaid. And for them to take that shit on that, it was just, I hated it. And I'm glad that they rectified it. And honestly, I don't know why Reggie gave them that motherfucker to begin with. I would have, quote unquote, lost it. That big, bulky, 100-pound motherfucking trophy. I don't know. I moved and I couldn't find it. We boxed it up with the China somewhere, and I don't know where it went. They wouldn't have got that shit off me, dog. Hell no.
To me, Reggie Bush, like how big he was, I don't remember people wearing college players' jerseys outside of Reggie Bush and Allen Iverson's Georgetown jersey, personally. You know what I mean? Like, how much attention he brought to the NCAA. Like, it was, you had to truly be there to realize how big of a deal he was at that moment. And the fact that he wasn't getting paid really made me think how insane it was. Prior to that, I wasn't really, I'm like, oh, you getting a college degree, you know, whatever. Maybe because I was younger, I was thinking that too. You feel me? And I was kind of swayed by other people's thoughts. But like, he's a person that made me realize, yo, this is fucking nasty that this man is not getting paid as big of a deal as he is. And you know what I mean? Like for them to have taken advantage of him and then to be mad at him because he was getting what part of what he was worth and taking the Heisman away. Like, he wasn't the reason a lot of people were even watching college football during that time period. Was insane to me. So I'm glad he got it back. I thought it was bullshit at the time when they took it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm surprised as hell that the NCAA said, yo, we got it wrong. That's shocking, but I'm glad he got it back.
So, and it's worth noting, I think the Heisman Trophy group is separate from the NCAA. And I did see people talking about, you know, it was like, oh, they were just waiting for OJ to die to give to give Reggie his Heisman back.
Hey, points might be made there.
And if so, I kind of get it, brother.
Yeah.
John, you make a really interesting point. It does feel like Reggie Bush was like the first raindrops falling in what would eventually become the storm that let guys make money in college. That was it was the first time people thought about it.
How much money they were making off his jersey sales and stuff. Like, was those conversations being had? And I had never heard about people talking in that way prior to him. You feel me?
Yeah.
I feel like Maurice Claret got the ball rolling where he was like,
Yes.
best freshman in the country, on a championship team. He's like, so many people making money off my likeness, off my jersey, and I'm not getting a cut. And then, a few years later, we have this generational, like I said, the best college football player I've ever seen in my lifetime at USC with Reggie Bush. And it was just like a perfect storm right there. So yeah, I think Maurice Claret got the ball rolling, and then Reggie Bush was just exhibit fucking A.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, it's good that things have moved in the direction they have. I always want to emphasize that the NCAA has continued to just punt and be cowards on this issue, in that they still aren't paying the kids. They just told them you're allowed to do endorsements,
right?
As a way to get around the Title IX issues, et cetera, that they're not wanting to have any leadership on or actually do anything. So fuck the NCAA as always, but. Give USC that national championship back, right, Jackson? Are we putting the banner back up?
Certainly.
Give him the natty back.
Certainly.
Listen, man, I was always on Reggie Bush's side, but when I found out that he used the money he was getting to buy a 96 Impala SS, I was like, bro, this is a real nigga. Free that man. Free that man. In 2005, you got a 20-year-old kid riding around in a 96 Impala. Come on, man. That's a real one right there.
He did what Drake didn't. You know what I'm saying? Got that bread and went right where niggas supposed to go. You know what I mean? Get you all old school.
I've been thinking about this, especially with the Reggie Bush conversation. If the NIL stuff had existed the whole time, who of like the 21st century college athletes makes the most money? Is it like Reggie Bush? Is it Johnny Manziel? Is it Tebow?
It's Johnny Manziel. No, three different answers. It's Johnny Manziel. It's Johnny Manziel, and I will tell you why. Johnny Manziel was cool. And he was a white boy who was legitimately cool. He wasn't a Baker Mayfield, try hard. Right? Yeah, like he was a white boy who had swagger, who played quarterback at Texas A&M, who has one of the most fervent fan bases in all of college. And he was legitimately great on the field too. He checked all the fucking boxes. Great performer, had the aura about him. He was legitimately cool, not a try hard, not a lame. And he had the swag. He had a great fucking nickname, Johnny Football. Manziel would have been printing money, bro.
I gotta say Tebow, because I think lame people make more money in this country than cool people.
Wow.
Like, wow. Like the Harvest Festival endorsement deal for Tim Tebow might have been 9 figures.
I mean, no, you got to add the wrinkle in that this is a white boy being cool though. White people, that's the cheat code right there. I'm not talking about like Vic, who was legitimately cool and black. It's him being a cool white boy that's the X factor here.
I think that John Deere evangelical church money balances it out. I don't know. He could have done it. He could legitimately Tebow legitimately could have done a mega church evangelical speaking tour where he was pulling in $1 million per appearance. You know what I mean?
And also got a Nike ad too. I think you know what I mean?
I think you're right, man. Manziel would have made the most endorsement money, but Tebow, if he'd been able to open up in the corporate conservative world and say you're allowed to give me as much money as you want, like I think he could have printed money in that circuit too. He did an endorsement deal, an anti-abortion commercial, didn't he? That he just was like volunteering his time for or something. Like, that world is, I don't interact with it, but it's like 44 to 48% of the country or whatever. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Tebow, bro. And similarly with the fan base and, obviously the success on the field and everything. I don't know.
You don't think the gravity of Reggie Bush, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there was a player more compelling that I've ever seen in college football. You know what I'm saying? That made you want to watch the game. Like, I never watched it. I wouldn't watch no Pac-10 fucking football shit back then. I was in the South, nigga. We thought that was fake football, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I watched some hoop, nigga. You feel me? I'm not trying to watch no damn football. Like, he made me think totally different. I don't. The gravity of him as a player was so strong. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I think quarterbacks are way more marketable. We just really haven't seen a running back who kind of has cracked into that space. So I'm still going Manziel, bro. And like I said, Reggie Bush, I think he's the best college football player, the most electrifying college football player I've ever seen in my life.
He was also pre the way the internet has opened every interaction up to be a profit making thing. You know what I mean? Which I feel like Manziel and Tebow both kind of had going for him. All right. We talked on the last Silly Billy episode about the cicada invasion. They have begun coming out throughout the South in the United States, and they're so loud that let me just read you this headline from Newberry, South Carolina in the Associated Press. Emerging cicadas are so loud in one South Carolina county that residents are calling the sheriff's office, asking why they can hear sirens or a loud roaring noise. The Newberry County Sheriff's Office sent out a message on Tuesday letting people know that the whining sound is just the male cicadas singing to attract mates after more than a decade of being dormant. Some people have even flagged down deputies to ask what the noise is. Golly, that sounds like hell.
Yeah. That sounds like a Twilight Zone episode.
Sounds like the end of the world for sure. That's crazy. Yeah.
Imagine being the police dispatcher, having to tell the 30th person, you are calling the police on insects
that are getting, they're trying to get their fuck on. Quit hating, nigga.
It's
Quit
been
cock
10
blocking.
years.
You know what I'm saying?
They ain't fucked since 2014, dog. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. These cicadas still think Barack Obama's president. You
Right?
know, like
You
they're
know, let
so
'em
out of the
live.
loop.
They have no idea how much the world has gone to shit in the last 10 years. Let them live.
Let them live. That's crazy though. I didn't take that into consideration that like there were other noises cicadas made outside of just that noise that puts me to sleep at night. You feel me? Like the mating noise, it sounds like sirens. That sounds like untenable. There's no way. You feel me?
I looked for video and couldn't find like a good video of how bad it is, but I was hoping to get a clip of like this being the worst thing in the world.
What good do cicadas contribute to like the ecosystem? Like what is their abundance of life that they contribute?
I think that as they have the abundance of death as they all die out, I think their husks are like an important part of the topsoil for the American forests or
Is
something
that
like
real?
I mean, I
Like
would
it
just guess
nourished
there's so much
go
there's
ahead.
so much biomaterial there that I would get, because like you said, like you could be somewhere sometimes and look down and realize that like the whole floor is dead cicadas.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, the ecosystem's so delicate. My mom was big on that shit too. Whenever I wanted, like, you know, because I was huge on killing all the bees. I was a real genocidal bee maniac as a kid.
Bees
like,
is
we should get all
interesting.
these dudes out of here. My mom was, when I was 6, she was like, "You wouldn't have any food without the bees, Mike." And I was like, "Well, I don't care."
Well,
Kill
you
all
were
the bees.
taking bees out? You was going at it with bees?
Well, I wasn't. I was too much of a pussy
I'm
to
finna
actually do
say,
it, but I wanted them. I was
Okay.
wishing them. I was
Okay.
wishing them.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, yeah, I don't know. It's still kind of fuck wasps at least.
Wasp,
Bees could
bro.
stay.
Wasp crazy, bro. I remember one
Yeah.
time a wasp passed up 3 people and stung me in the middle of my chest. Like there were 3 people right there. I was just watching. They were the ones fucking with the bush. Passed all them niggas up and stung me, bro. I've had beef with wasps ever since, bro. You know, that was just so unnecessary. I ain't do shit to that nigga. Crazy.
I told y'all I successfully avoided it because I would just literally turn around and run the other direction if I saw a bee or a wasp. I actually jumped over Shar to get away from a beehive one time. We were
Jump
delivering
over,
newspapers,
like
and
Vince
they had
Carter
built.
shit.
They had
Take
they had
her,
built
not me.
They had built a wasp nest in our newspaper stand. So I
Okay.
opened it up. It was a wasp nest in there, and I turned and jumped over her to get out the back of the of the little delivery cart, which she's told that story a few times. But I successfully avoided ever getting stung by one until I was like 32 or something like that. Never stung by a bee or wasp until then. And what happened was a queen wasp had crawled up under the eave of my slides that were sitting outside. I would leave my slides outside the house or whatever. So I had Vinny in the car seat.
You're what outside
Little
the
baby
house?
Vinny. My slides, my
Oh,
sandals.
okay. Yeah.
So I put my foot in, and the wasp stung me under my big toenail.
Oh hell no.
It felt like someone took a hammer and just, put it in the end of my foot or whatever. And so I like pulled my foot out, like, what the fuck? Like, because I couldn't see it. And then it came crawling out, and it was a queen wasp. It was big as fuck. I picked up the other sandal, and I probably hit the wasp 30 times. And like, I'm cussing, I'm screaming the whole time. And Vinny starts crying in the car seat because he's like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like,
Daddy's
it's
fighting the
surreal.
air, mommy.
Yeah. It was some real caveman brain shit, bro. Like, I must protect my baby
No.
from this.
The only time I blacked out like that with a bug was, I told you about that time that a roach crawled on me while I was sleeping.
Oh,
Hell
Bro,
no.
nigga, I had on high school, you feel me? we lived in an apartment that had them things in it. We moved out the apartment. It got in the crib. You feel me? And it was like them big ass water bugs. You feel me? Where it'd be like one big ass one. They flew and all that type shit. Anyway, so I guess one, hitched a ride in one of my bags or something, right? So I'm sleeping and I feel something crawl across my arm, like while I'm laying down. And I'm like, it wakes me up out of my sleep. Like, hold up, nigga. You feel me? Like, I dream lucidly. So I woke up. That was real life, nigga. That wasn't in my dream. You feel me? So then, like, I go back to sleep. I'm like, I might have been tweaking, whatever. And I feel something crawl across my face, dog.
Oh.
And I had my do-rag on. So I fucking trying to get my do-rag and all that shit. And then I'm looking around like, no, I felt something. Fuck that. So I'm looking around, bro. I see a roach on his back next to my bed. I guess I knocked it off. Nigga, I stomped that roach until I didn't see roach anymore. Like there was nothing for me to pick up. I'm stomping a roach out, nigga, like, you know what I mean? Insane, bro. Oh my God. I fucking hate roaches. Anyway, yeah. So I can understand that feeling. You feel me?
Yeah, everyone has one bug. It's roaches for Shar too, because Shar's dad grew up in Hawaii, so they would go. He grew up on a dole plantation in Hawaii, actually, so they would go back to Hawaii regularly. And they one time, he grew up in Hawaii, bro. So roaches to him is like ants,
right?
In Southern California, he doesn't even notice them,
right?
But they had a rental car, and Shar has this vivid memory of being like 6, sitting in the rental car and looking down and seeing the floor of the car moving. With roaches, you know what I mean? And she's just ever since then, bro, like she sees a roach, she will like leave the parking lot and go walk a mile to come into the store from a different direction. You know what I mean?
Bro, I remember me and Tyler was at New Orleans and
New Orleans, Hawaii.
A roach tried to attack us, bro. Like it came at us, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I remember we turned around, like the motherfucker was big. We damn near squared up. Me, him, and Adrian, like, what's good? You feel me? And the motherfucker flew off. I swear to God, it was like, yeah, nigga, when I get my friends, I see if you really about that smoke, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You really about that. You gonna stand tall, nigga, when I bring the homies? I swear to God, didn't he have a lot of like really aggressive energy, nigga? It was crazy.
You guys want to hear my horrible roach in an apartment story? John's, yours reminded me of it. These weren't like ginormous roaches, but they were still. So in the apartment I lived in sophomore year of college, shout out West 27th on Figueroa in downtown Los Angeles for being an absolute shithole.
That USC student housing is it's insane.
That place specifically is
that's a private school. That shit anyway.
A cesspool.
It's a private school in South Central though, dog. Like
yeah.
If you're staying off campus at USC, it's some wild story.
Fun time, but an absolute nightmare to live in. So it's one of those things where like we see one little cockroach and I'm like, okay, kill it. And then it's like, oh, the next 2 days later you see like 4 and you're like, weird, but like let's just kill them, everything's fine. Then like a week later, like, wait, there's like 6 now, let's see if we can handle this ourselves. We're like 20-year-olds, we're stupid.
Drop the bomb, bro.
So we get the like all the spray and whatever, and we're like, okay, I think maybe it's working. Not working, obviously. So it just progressively gets worse and worse. And then we go to our apartment, the landlords or whatever, and we're like, hey, we have this roach problem, we can't really figure out what's happening, can you guys like do something about it? And they're like, yeah, no problem. They don't do the full-on bug bomb initially. They do this like where they spray all the whatever, I don't know, some like intense poison shit. They're like, just be out of there for like a couple hours. We're like, no problem. And then it doesn't
drives them out of their hiding place.
It doesn't work, right? And so the problem gets worse and worse to the point where like during the day it's mostly fine, but during the night, if you ever have to like wander out into the kitchen to like get water or whatever, right? Absolute just nightmare of roaches in there, to the point where there are cockroaches, small ones, crawling out of our outlets in the kitchen.
Hell no.
It is a fucking nightmare.
How long
we're like,
live
okay,
like that, Jackson?
What?
How long did y'all live like that?
Too long. And so but then we're like, okay, we're about to go home for winter break. So we tell them, we're like, hey, can you guys like fix this? Because this is a nightmare. They're like, yeah, we'll do the full bug bomb. You have to be out of there for like 2 weeks, but like perfect timing because you guys are all going to be gone, right? We're like, okay, great. They're going to bug bomb. Like we had to cover our shit in like sheet plastic. Like we're fucking Dexter. And I still have the video. It is insane what we had to do to our apartment. But we're like, okay, it's fine. We'll come back from break. All of our problems will be solved. Sophomore year can recommence. It's going to be great. We come back and it's like a little bit better, but then like it starts again and we're like, okay, something is wrong here. We have to find out like where like the hive is or whatever, right? Like we need to like target bomb them. We can't
It's
just
in
like
the walls, nigga.
we have to figure it out. We're like it's in the wall. Can't figure it out. And we're like,
in someone else's
you
apartment.
know, the one place
sharing
we
a wall
haven't
with you
looked,
or-
and it's always the kitchen. What about behind the fridge? So it's like a heavy fridge, and we're like college students. So we have like two people lifting and gonna slide it out. I'm like the person who has to climb on the counter, take a flashlight, look back there. They slide the fridge out. I have a flashlight in one hand and like a what's useless against this many roaches in another hand, like a trap. And I just see it. I just scream, drop both behind there, and I'm like, we're not going back there. We just have to put the fridge back and tell them, and they have to handle it. Because it was like a swarm of cockroaches.
Oh, hell.
And I was like, oh my God. Eventually they handled it, and we ended up living the rest of the time there, which is crazy. No rent reduction, no nothing. But there was a amount of time there, sophomore year, where we were living. It was their apartment. We were just guests in their apartment.
You lived in Joe's apartment.
I don't have video of the actual like infestation, but I do have the Dexter video of there being sheet plastic all over covering everything.
I've had to do that one time with this place I was living in college as well in St. Louis, and we covered it up, and it was like a bomb. We had to be at the house for 6 hours. You can't make it was fine, but that night shit when you're like turn the lights off and you lift the dish and like 6 roaches scatter from the dish.
You've been there.
It's disgusting.
Oh my God,
I can't imagine pulling out the refrigerator and seeing like them crawling over each other. I don't know. Maybe my brain is making it worse than it really was, so maybe that's why I'm reacting.
It's like you've seen an ant hill, but like cockroach
right
version,
now.
right? Like it's.
Oh my God.
Tyler, are there cockroaches in Virginia? What do y'all deal with out there?
Shit, I mean, not where I stay, but yeah, I mean, they out here.
Not at the crib. Oh,
not at the crib. You feel me? But yeah, ants are a big problem where I'm at, but you know, ants don't creep you out like roaches do. You know, so
the big water bugs aren't as bad. It's the small ones you were talking about. Those are like the big water bugs. Like we see like 3 a year. You know, I mean, it'd be nasty, but like when they're the small ones, those are the ones. Like that things are the German cockroaches. Those are the ones that fucking. Could be a potential infestation.
Yeah.
You see 1 or 2. That's like you see one, it means that there's 1,000 or some shit. Ugh.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we've had enough.
Let's move on to
a viewership drops on this. Can we look at that?
Right when Jackson pulled the fridge out. Because once
the
Jackson said they pulled the fridge out, everyone turned it off. I don't need to know.
Oh hell no.
Yeah. I'll tap in with the next silly Billy. See you next Saturday, brother.
This silly Billy is not as silly as I was led to believe it might be.
More Billy than silly this time, brother.
This is more of a serious William episode.
The 82-game preseason is in the books, and it's finally time for the real season. Don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
From the play-in tournament through the finals, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. I still feel like the Nuggets are the team to beat this year, but some of these young squads might make some noise.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code Jenkins only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. An ancient giant snake in India might have been longer than a school bus and weighed a ton, researchers reported this week.
My God.
Fossils found, this was in India, fossils found near a coal mine revealed a snake that stretched an estimated 36 to 50 feet. It's comparable to the largest known snake at about 42 feet that once lived in Colombia. Golly. 47 million years ago in the swampy forest of Western India could have weighed up to 2,200 pounds.
That's just insane, bro. We were talking about this off camera where there's something in our brain that when we see snakes makes us automatically react. And I was just wondering, what were snakes doing to us? We're like, our 2024, I see a snake and I'm running through a Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Like, what were they doing to us 1,000 years ago? This answers it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they was wrecking shit. They was running the planet. A 2-ton snake. Who has anything for that?
Crazy.
Who has anything for that? Crazy.
That is wild.
No,
Long
1
as a
ton,
school bus?
2,000. So
Yeah.
it's a ton, 1 ton
Yeah,
snake.
it could be up to 50. It could be up to 50 feet long.
Yeah.
Sheesh. What the fuck was that thing eating?
An American
probably.
school bus, a yellow school bus, is 40 feet long.
That's wild.
Pythons get to like 20 feet, right?
They can get up to 30 feet.
Okay. And so like this was
That's
how
the
long?
largest current living snake. 20 feet longer than that.
Oh my God. Have you seen how thick pythons are too?
Yeah.
24-inch pythons, brother.
You on that jail talk?
That's that Hulkamania talk.
Oh, okay.
Hulkamania.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I think that is one thing about the ancient world though. Like it just things were bigger. That's like if you look at the history of the life in America, you know, it was bears that were like 5 times the size of the current bears, and lions that was bigger than current bears. Like, you know, it was all this shit because I think it had to do with it was more oxygen. It's like this thing where people say climate change isn't real, but if you actually go into like a geological fossil record, it's like, no, when there's more oxygen, things are better for animal life, and when there's less, it's worse. Like, but that was part of it. It was like the makeup of the air was different, and then but it was the same thing with it. You talk about what was the snake eating? It was the same thing with the T-Rex. It's like it had to eat like 12 hours a day just to sustain how fucking big it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 tons of snake. That's too much snake, brother.
That's too much motherfucker.
Wait, yeah, crazy.
All right.
Y'all
Let's
understand that
talk-
24-inch python shit? My dad would talk about how like when he was locked up, they would like flex their biceps like 20-inch on hang, nigga. Like that's why they would flex on each other. Like my biceps 20-inch without even fucking flexing. You feel me? So I thought you was talking about some jail shit. Like we talking about some prison shit, nigga. And this motherfucker, no, we're actually talking about
might have been in the
Hulkamania.
trenches.
I'm saying, I'm like, yo, that 24 inches is crazy. Bro. He'd been stunting in jail. You feel me?
What I flex these 24-inch pythons on you, brother?
Yo, my bad.
Hogan.
Yeah, fuck him completely.
Is the look between these letters on your keyboard the worst thing that's happened on Twitter?
I mean, yeah, I don't even get the shit that they be like. I saw like a look between your letters thing with like a fucking Jimmy Neutron character or some shit. I was like, yeah, I think I'm too old for this one. I have no idea what
are they trying to insinuate? Like, what are they saying?
It would be like when
What's the
you see
purpose of
someone
this?
doing something crazy, like look between T and U on your keyboard, and it's the letter Y.
It's dumb.
That's nasty. That is horrible, bro. Wait, like who started this? Is this popping right now on Twitter?
It's a lot. I've seen a lot of it the last 2 days.
Wow.
I want to make fun of you guys for being old, but this shit is stupid as hell.
But you
I don't
hate
get
it.
I don't.
Okay.
get it.
I'm gonna say. I thought you were gonna say, "No, this shit cracking, bro. You tripping?" I'm like, "What?"
You've seen it though. I feel like I've seen like a couple dozen of those. Like every time I log on, it's on there. You've seen them, Jackson, Tyler?
I've seen a couple,
seen
and
it.
I just don't. I just it's too much reading and thinking for a joke. I don't know. I just don't.
Like
get
you
it.
have to go to your
Not even a
keyboard, and also like you like we're using our phones, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, pop up the keyboard on your phone. I don't understand how that ever became a thing.
Yeah. There's no good answer to that. Jackson, are you upset about the they're calling it a TikTok ban? That's not really what it is, but are you upset about the TikTok news?
Is there new TikTok news?
The president signed today the foreign aid bill that includes they're calling it a TikTok ban. It's really give the financial stake in America to an American company is what it is, which I'm sure they'll do because people enjoy continuing to make money. But
Right.
Yes, it is officially a law, I believe, as of about an hour before we started recording.
I would.
And
be
they
sad-
have till September, so it's
I would
like
be
you
sad
got
if
5
TikTok
months
got
to.
banned. I would be sad if TikTok got banned, but I'm supportive of this. I guess I find the whole thing very like confusing and fraught, but I don't want TikTok to go away. I'm addicted to it, and also it's a big way that we distribute content these days for my professional purposes. But mostly, I'm just addicted to it. So yeah, I would be.
Philip Morris executive over here in 1953 sweating bullets.
mostly it's just what I am determining to. I figure the the worm it's putting into my brain as an addiction is like better than being addicted to something else. So I figure that
That's how you know you're really addicted.
oh yeah, baby.
When you're saying like I could be addicted to
It could be meth, brother. You know what I mean?
I wasn't gonna say a specific thing, but
that's the last bastion of the true degenerate is the like, well, at least I'm not on heroin.
I think
that's exactly what I'm thinking.
What he says about it is true. Like it is the best. I mean, the best platform to probably scale. You know what I mean? Like a brand or a company or whatever. But one thing about TikTok though is the algorithm is great. Maybe if we
when you say
TikTok
it's
anyway,
great, what do you mean by that,
bro? I never see things. I get you, right? I get what you're
Right.
saying, and I understand it completely. But at least I don't have to see bullshit I don't give a fuck about. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be on my phone. They never send me a bad video. I've never been on TikTok and seen a bad video. You know what I mean? And also, there's a dude I know that like works with TikTok or whatever, right? And the way he made me like as far as a company, it's the one algorithm where you can feel like the algorithm is on your side. Where it doesn't matter how I'm as a brand, bro. So I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about as human. I know you hate all of this shit. I understand and I agree with you on that, especially somebody raising a fucking child. You feel me?
Yeah.
But like as a brand, you could look at the algorithm like the algorithm is going to find the people that fuck with what you got going on. Where everything else, people trying to, you got to like crack the algorithm and all that shit because it's going to send you some bullshit. This is the one thing where you can put something, doesn't matter how many followers you have or whatever. If there's a group of people out there that like it, they're going to find those people. So
that's the one thing as like a content person I like is it feels like one of the only, I mean, Twitter was like this, I feel like, but not as much anymore. It's one of the only actually merit-based social media apps. Like the best stuff is going to more people because more people like it, period.
Yep.
Like they're like, that's just that there is no discussion. That's just what's happening. But the actual thing I like about the algorithm is it's so good that my genuine favorite thing about TikTok is not watching TikTok videos. It's when old white Republicans are like, why does my TikTok only serve me gay porn? It's like, well, brother,
I got news for you.
I got news for you,
Big
pal.
Daddy.
That's my favorite, my number one favorite thing about TikTok and the algorithm, how good it is.
The algorithm is so perfect that Radha doesn't like she doesn't double tap anything.
Smart.
She doesn't follow. I don't know if she might follow a couple of people, but she's never double tapped anything. And this is before she was following anybody. Like she had like no imprint as far as like physically touching it outside of like how long she stayed on videos, and it figured her out in like probably a week and a half. It was like
that's
scary.
It feels Twilight Zone-ish to me that I have so many friends, and I want to be really clear. Like I have more. I think all three of you are smarter than me. I have so much respect for Radha's intelligence, but I have so many friends that are presenting that exact scenario as a good thing. And every time they say it, I'm like, this is why we should run as far away from it as possible.
I understand. I understand. But that shit, nigga.
It's like, oh, this social media app is so good at knowing all the things about me. Bro, I don't want a foreign-owned company to know.
This is the thing. For sure I get up with that. But if I'm gonna do cocaine, brother, you feel me? Let me do that unstepped on pure shit, bro. You know what I mean? I need that blue magic, brother. You feel me? Yeah. And they got it over there. Crazy.
I want to add the context that like all my thoughts on this are I'm very interested in this stuff and I've read quite a bit about it. I'm operating from the assumption that with the 5-month deadline, they will simply move the financial stake in the American portion of this company. They will spin it off and it will continue to exist exactly as it existed thus far, except that venture capitalists will eventually destroy it the way that Facebook and Twitter have been destroyed. Right. But like, I'm not operating from, I know the way the headlines have been phrased in order to get the most engagement, which is kind of what I'm talking about, is that
I love
is that President Biden has banned TikTok, which is I think that's a very, very small chance that there's any actual consumer impact, particularly of this to people. But it's I feel torn on this because I consider myself a First Amendment absolutist as a journalist and a writer, that it's like this. We especially don't want the government fucking around with how people get their information. With the other half of my brain, like social media is responsible for most of the things I don't like about the world that are recent developments. It's the worst way for us to get information. It's the worst way for us to have any kind of thing in common because, as you said, the most successful social media app is the one that puts you in the coziest silo where you are, and like that lack of a shared reality, in my opinion, which exists in order to profit like 3 or 4 companies, is the driver of so much of what is making the problems worse in our country and around the world. And like, as bad as social media has been here, like Myanmar, other places, like it's literally led to the worst things that people can do to each other, So I don't know what the answer is to that. Part of me is like, less social media apps in any way is great. And part of me is like, of all of the reasons to fuck with the social media company, this is the stupidest reason to fuck with.
It is the stupidest reason. And yet when every 4th video is like epic Tiger Woods cut up from his 2000 season, look how dominant this guy was. I'm like, dude, this app rocks. This app fucking rules.
That nigga went crazy. You feel me? No, like one thing I will say, like what made Twitter interesting when we first locked in with it was that it made me realize people on the planet I didn't know existed. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't know niggas still thought like this. I'm never around these type of motherfuckers. So it kind of broadened how I saw the world. And which was good. I don't know if that's the case now. You feel me? I think it's like I don't know if that represents the world as much as it once did. But yeah, I think that was interesting about that. And these social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok are doing, even Facebook now, are doing the exact opposite. So, but yeah,
I think the term is like digital cocooning or something like that. But it's the idea that like, when because we all remember life pre-social media, and so you did like you interacted with lots of different types of people, whatever. You got on social media, and it was a lot of like, oh wow, I've never known an Indian person who grew up in Pennsylvania. This is a different perspective on life or whatever. And then the goal of all of the companies is just to keep you on the app as long as possible. And the way to keep you on the app as long as possible is to like remove that experience, right? Like so what happened is like we opened up so much to the world that now it's just you again. Like the most specific to you that the news can be, that entertainment can be. This is why we talk about it all the time. Like people don't watch the same TV show anymore. There's no longer like musicians that it feels like 100 million people listen to, because there aren't, right? Like everything's split up. That's like, dude, if you like EDM, here's the 7 subgenres of EDM. And when we find the subgenre of EDM, you like, we're going to find the subgenre of that subgenre. And you're just going to fucking blah, 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 into your own brain. Right. So I don't know. I don't want to pretend like I have an answer to any of it. I just I don't know. But it is crazy to me. Y'all are like, nah, man, that app knows my wife better than I know her. Look at what great technology it is. Like,
I ain't gonna say that. But speaking of music, you're talking about like EDM, all this shit, whatever. Yeah. Jackson, how do you pronounce? Was it Khruangbin? What's the name of that? Okay, that's it. Because I was wondering how to pronounce that shit.
I didn't know until I googled it. I don't even know if that's correct.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with anything. But I was just wondering, have you really listened to that music?
I wouldn't say I'm not like a super fan, but yeah, I've listened to it.
It's really fucking good, right?
They're super talented.
I love them, but I think white people like them because white people can be wind while listening to them. Like white people like listening to music that they sway to. They don't have to actually catch a beat. And I'm like, wow, this is the perfect swing music. This is why they always hitting me up like my white homies always like, have you heard of him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, but like, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Like, wow, this music is made for them to be outdoors swaying to. They don't have to catch a beat. None of that shit.
I'm probably going to be swaying to them myself outdoors when they come to the Hollywood Bowl this
summer.
Bro,
how much are they taxing though? I heard them tickets is crazy, bro.
Are they? Dang.
Yeah, I heard they tax. I heard they like resale costs now. Like you got to go to resale. I think they sold out hella quickly. Anyway, had nothing to do with anything. I was just wondering.
I have a lot of friends who really love EDM. What percentage of your enjoyment of EDM is drug related, Jackson?
Well, this is not EDM, what John was asking about. But to answer your question, hypothetically, I didn't have interest years ago. I went to Coachella in 2018, and since then I've have interest. genuine interest, not while completely sober. So it kind of like I don't know if it like rewired my brain or just like exposed me to it in a way that I had not been exposed to it, like in the environment, like the outdoors, like in the great weather with like my friend, like the environment that I was in when I was sort of first like given that opportunity, as opposed to just like put it on fucking Spotify.
The opportunity.
It was, dude. It's an amazing. It was an amazing time out there. Okay, and so since then, sober or high on very very legal drugs like weed, I like it a lot more. I like it a lot more.
What other legal drugs?
Oh, like alcohol, you know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you guys would be talking about. Those are the only things that I consume. I live in California.
I mean, yeah, EDM feels like a genre you have to experience live. Like, I don't know any EDM fans who just listen to that shit at the crib. Like, if you listen to EDM, you go to raves and shit. You know, no one just listens to that shit at the crib.
I'm gonna watch the floors. Let me put some.
Oh yeah, I know people who are like they mostly listen to it at the gym, for example.
Yeah,
but you know, it's depending on it's like a very broad, from my understanding. I'm like a tip of the iceberg, right? Like fan of that kind of music, and so
you're casual.
Yeah, I'm a casual for sure.
And so it's a very broad
scope. So there's certain types I think that like a lot of different types of people would enjoy. Like I don't like the super hardcore heavy stuff. I'm just like, give me like the danciest house music you can find, and let me just vibe, you know.
Before we would record, Zach would throw some of that shit on, and he'd just look at me because he knew it would make my fucking skin crawl. I just hate the. I just can't stand. You know what I'm saying? The underlying beats. But anyway, I'd imagine if I was like popping pills or like shrooms or whatever, that'd probably go crazy.
I think if you were to actually look at, like, we talk about how quick the generations speed up because of the technological advances. I think we are the exact line. Like, I feel like if we were born 6 months after we were, like, everyone our age and older heard about ecstasy as a like, oh
ecstasy
man, like,
was crackhead shit,
was like
bro.
worse than heroin. Yeah, like if you do
anything
that, you could be paralyzed, you could never recover your brain, like all this other stuff. And literally, people like my friends who graduated high school a year after us, it's like we're comfortable using Molly in college and stuff. You know what I mean? But
like,
I don't.
Shrooms is
my
weed
age
to
and
them,
older.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Shrooms to me still like I don't look at you do shrooms, like it's not a big deal, but like I'm still like I've never done it, and my I'm not gonna say who. But a person I love very dearly, one of my favorite people in the world, she's like, yo, you need to do this shit, dog. With your brain, you would love it. And I'm just like, I don't know. It just feels like anything past weed. Like my mom was, you're doing that dope. He on that dope. You feel what I'm saying? Like, like, I don't know, bro. Doing that dope, you know, that's, I don't know. That can get scary, G. So
yeah, we are definitely of a generation where if it ain't weed, it's crack, bro.
You feel me?
Like that's it. It's that simple with us,
that
man.
Nigga on that crack, nigga. Bro, when I heard niggas was doing cocaine out here, like actual black people, I'm like, this is really a different world. You know what I'm saying? We're like, motherfucker, y'all did that in high school. What? High school? I remember when what's the old girl from 3 6 Mafia?
Gangsta Boo
talking about need some white to put in my nose. I'm like, I gasped when I heard that line, nigga. Some white to put in my nose. I'm like, oh my God, she's on crack.
Tyler, is there a parallel between you being a Twitter and weed only person? Is TikTok like is TikTok over a line for you in the way that you would not?
Bro, I don't even like peruse the shit. I just got one of them basic ass user 7398971 right? Yeah. Right. And the thing is, bro, like whenever someone sends me a TikTok, the landing page that you know how you get on a landing page before you actually see the TikTok they sent you, that shit is always intriguing every fucking time. And I'm like, bro, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna get addicted to this shit too and be fucking addicted to Twitter. I'm like, no, just I'm just gonna watch the shit you send me and close the fuck out. That's it.
I have like an actual Jenkins Jonez one that I was using for my last gig, and I don't even use that one, bro. I just use the user. I started another one, a user like 800 shit, because I get like, bro, like I don't want to be. I watch it at times, and I think it's a great algorithm, but I don't want to be addicted the way Tyler says too. Like at night, rather. You feel me?
He's on there.
I've seen that, so I respect it, and I get it, and I enjoy my time there. but for whatever reason, I've been able to keep it at a a particular amount of usage.
It's a smart decision, John. The decision you're making is smart. However, the old smoke some weed and doom scroll for 30 minutes at 11 p.m. hits pretty good. Hits pretty good.
I can only imagine. Maybe if I still was smoking like I, you know what I'm saying? I'd probably be going. That shit would probably be perfect, G. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I need my sleep. I think go ahead. You said what?
So the only thing I would say, and I want to be clear that like I don't approach anyone's social media usage with any judgment whatsoever. I've spent like probably literal years of my life on Twitter. And I'm not like in no way am I, but I do think it's exactly where we're at, that every conversation I have about social media apps, my friends, sounds like this. The word addiction comes up all the time.
For sure.
We all know that that's what it is.
Yeah.
We have a political system that's so broken by partisanship that even though every parent I know of an elementary school age kid is stressed the fuck out about this stuff, there is no actual national conversation around it. There is no hint of any actual like legislation or common sense technological curbs that are not like driven by parents. Like there's no hint of any of that. And it's just kind of like, it feels like a slow motion, crazy car wreck to me. It's like every time this stuff comes up, I'm like, and we're just watching it like it's just happening. And there's like nothing that's being done or even really being considered about it. I find it like, I don't know, man. It's just kind of crazy to me. It really is kind of crazy to me.
I agree with you completely. But I would love for Tyler to start a fucking animal channel on that motherfucker, dog. You would be a millionaire. I guarantee it. You're leaving money on the table, brother. If you got on there,
leave my dog alone.
If you got on there,
he's comfortable with his level of addiction.
Talk shit, brother. You feel me? Nigga.
Yeah,
maybe a billionaire.
Yeah,
there's so much money in that shit.
Yeah, it's for sure money to be like TikTok viral will make you money. Like Twitter viral just makes people annoy the fuck out you.
I know
there's nothing to be gained from going viral on TikTok.
I know
on Twitter,
I know a nigga who has like he's popping ass IG and a popping ass TikTok. So like the Facebook money was good. Everybody's talking about how Facebook money was so good. TikTok money crazy, bro. I'm talking about like the man makes TikToks is making $500,000 a year, G, off TikTok videos, nigga. You feel me? Like crazy, insane, man. So like, dog, I don't know, Tyler. We all said we got a number. That number right there, bro. That number right there.
$500,000, yeah, that's crazy.
Hey man, get on there and talk your shit about animals and make $500,000 a year. Come on, man.
I feel like getting another person addicted to TikTok was the exact opposite of why I put this shit on the
We got the person who's going to create
That's how good the app is, bro.
He's going to create content. We need this content. Content is king, man. Come
John's out there like Scott and Jean Grey's baby with the techno virus with the across his forehead, walking up to Tyler like, you could make money though.
Right, bro. You got it. You got it, Tyler. Oh, yeah.
All right, that's all the time we got. We will be live Sunday night after the basketball games on YouTube, youtube.com/@JenkinsandJones. Please come hang out. We've had a great time hopping on and hanging out with everybody in the chat. Throw questions at us, make jokes for sure. We appreciate everyone who's been listening so far. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see y'all Sunday. Hope the rest of everyone's week goes great. Bye.
Bye. Mike, you can make a lot of money doing dad content too. I'm just gonna let you know that too. There's money for both of y'all on that platform. All right.